In any magical practice, there comes a moment when the air just feels too thick, the energy too heavy, and the spiritual noise is just too loud to ignore. Whether you're a seasoned witch or just beginning to explore your path, understanding how to clear space, both literally and energetically, is essential. Banishing and cleansing aren't just tools for emergency spiritual maintenance. They're powerful rites that help maintain clarity, protection, and sovereignty in our magical and mundane lives. These practices act as energetic resets. They remove what no longer serves, dissolve what clings, and create spaces or for what you truly intend to manifest. Without regular banishing and cleansing, rituals can feel muddled, tools can grow stagnant, and even our own energy can become clouded. Just as we wouldn't paint on a dirty canvas, we shouldn't perform magic in an energetically cluttered space. This video and basic introduction will guide you through the differences between banishing and cleansing, when to use them, and how to weave them into your practice with both simplicity and intention. Whether you're clearing a haunted corner of your flat or shaking off someone's bad vibes, you'll walk away with practical rites you can perform today and a deeper appreciation for the magic of a clean slate. And this is a time where I say thank you to everyone that has joined me on Patreon and signed up for a tier. I really do appreciate the support. And if you would also like to support me and this channel, then go to Patreon. Link is here or in the description, and browse through the tiers for one that suits you. And now the cool introduction video. Banishing is the art of removal. In magical terms, it refers to the deliberate act of clearing away unwanted energies, entities, thought forms, or influences that are interfering with your space, your mind, or spirit. It's the spiritual equivalent of opening all the windows during a storm and letting the wind sweep everything stagnant or hostile out into the night. Banishing can take many forms depending on your needs. It might be as subtle as shaking off emotional residue after an argument, or as structured as a full ceremonial rite to remove parasitic energy or disruptive entities. Some banishings are soft and preventative, like burning protective incense during a ritual to keep the space focused and clear. Others are firm and commanding, calling on spiritual authority or the power of your will to cast out what has invaded. I always find Jason Miller's book, Protection and Reversal Magic, interesting in contrast to my own development on the banishing front over the years. Um, in his first edition, he suggests doing banishings every day, more than once a day if possible, but then changes to the reverse of that in his second edition, suggesting that you might end up banishing spirits that you might want to actually work with. I seem to have gone in the opposite direction. I was first considering or a daily banishing to possibly remove everything from your life, and some things you might want to actually keep, to actually doing banishing rites daily. However, I have also come to understand there to be two basic forms of banishing rites. The first, which I do daily, holds the intention of cleansing myself of negative energies, things that I don't want, like taking a shower, but removing the energetic dirt. Um, we could refer to this as cleansing rather than banishing, and you'll understand why just now when we actually get into the cleansing aspect of this video. The other form is to reset the space, and this is the one that holds the intention of getting rid of everything. This form is only done when you're performing magic and want to cleanse the entire space of all energies, good and bad, and everything in between. It's like sterilizing your space before doing a magical operation. I think it largely boils down to your intention and where you want to set the mark or boundary in relation to the type of banishing or slash cleansing you might be doing. You can do the same right for both. One would technically be considered a banishing and the other possibly a cleansing. But on that note, it's important to note that banishing doesn't always mean evil spirits or dramatic exorcisms. More often, it's about boundaries. Banishing is used to reclaim energetic space from anything that doesn't belong. Anxieties, old thought loops, lingering grief, bad luck, psychic clutter, or even the residual presence of someone who's overstayed their welcome in your life or home. Many traditions, from ceremonial magic to folk witchcraft, use banishing as a foundational practice. Whether you're drawing pentagrams in the air, ringing bells in the corners of your room, or simply commanding something to leave with your voice and presence, banishing works by asserting your sovereignty. You decide what gets to stay. You decide what must go. In many cases, as mentioned just now, you often reset the space, you sterilize it, and then invite the things you want in to come back. Cleansing magic is the ritual act of purification, where banishing focuses on removal through force of will or spiritual command. Cleansing is gentler, it washes, soothes, resets. It's about restoring harmony by clearing away energetic residue, stagnant vibrations, and unwanted influences that naturally build up over time. Cleansing can be performed on spaces, tools, people, or even emotions and thoughts. It's the spiritual equivalent of taking a bath after a long day or opening the windows to let fresh air in. Just as dust and grime accumulate in the physical world, so too does psychic clutter. Cleansing allows us to move through life, ritual, and spell work with clarity, intention, and focus. There are countless ways to cleanse, and the method you choose often depends on your tradition, tools, and intention. Smoke from herbs like rosemary, mugwort, or frankincense is commonly used to carry away heavy energy. Salt, known for its purifying properties across many cultures, can be sprinkled across thresholds, added to water, or used in ritual circles. Sound, whether from bells, chanting, or clapping, can shatter lingering energetic buildup. Even a cleansing breath or taken with full awareness, can begin to shift stagnant energy within the cell. Importantly, cleansing isn't just a reaction to negativity, it's a proactive part of magical hygiene. It's something many witches do before spell work, during the waning moon, or whenever they feel a sense of heaviness in the atmosphere. When done regularly, cleansing becomes a form of spiritual upkeep, like brushing your teeth or tidying your altar. It keeps your energy field clear, your tools responsive, and your connection to spirit sharp and unclouded. Banishing and cleansing aren't just for dramatic moments of spiritual crisis. They're practices best woven into the rhythms of everyday magic. Knowing when to perform them is about listening to your intuition, observing subtle shifts in your environment, and recognizing the signs of energetic imbalance before they take root. You might feel the need for banishing or cleansing after an emotionally intense encounter, like an argument, a breakup, or even an overwhelming public experience. Likewise, spaces tend to absorb energy over time. If your home feels heavy, your altar feels dull, or your dreams become chaotic, it's often a sign that something stagnant or uninvited is lingering. Of course, the first place to begin with a spiritual or energetic cleansing in your home is to start with a physical cleaning. It's no good expecting a cleansing rite or bath to make you feel better if your environment looks like the local dump, where all of the energetic negativity is building up. In terms of spell work, though, performing these rites before and after a spelling is also a powerful habit. A pre-ritual cleansing clears the slate and aligns your energy, while a post-ritual banishing can seal the space and disperse any residual currents you don't want clinging. They're especially potent when working with spirits or ancestors. Banishing helps maintain boundaries, while cleansing keeps the connection pure. Seasonal shifts, the moon phases, and times of personal transition are also ideal. Moving into a new home, cleanse. Ending a toxic relationship, banish. Feeling spiritually blocked, creatively stuck, or emotionally weighed down. These are all calls to clear your field. Ultimately, the why behind these rites is empowerment. They help you reclaim control of your energetic environment, protect your spiritual body, and maintain the integrity of your magic. In a world filled with noise and distraction, banishing and cleansing allow you to step back into sacred space, within and without, fully present, fully aware, and fully in your power. Banishing and cleansing magic are as old as the craft itself, and over the centuries, witches and magicians have developed a wide range of tools and techniques to suit different needs, paths, and temperaments. Some methods are rooted in ceremonial precision, while others emerge from folk traditions passed through whispered wisdom and ancestral instinct. The beauty of these practices is that they're endlessly adaptable. What matters most is your intention and presence. Smoke is one of the most well-known cleansing tools. Burning herbs such as rosemary, mugwort, frankincense, or cedar creates a sacred smoke that lifts and carries away stagnant energy. While white sage has become popular, it's important to be mindful of cultural appropriation and over-harvesting. There are many powerful alternatives that are ethically and magically effective. The same goes for using the term smudging. If you don't know why, then it's time to go do some research, as all witches love doing. Salt has long been associated with purification. It can be sprinkled in doorways and corners, dissolved in water for cleansing baths, or placed in small bowls around the space to absorb unwanted energy. Black salt, often made by mixing salt with ashes, charcoal, or protective herbs and crushed eggshells, is particularly useful for banishing and boundary work. I tend to use Epsom salts a lot for the purpose of cleansing, especially when it comes to spiritual baths. Water, especially when infused with herbs, is deeply cleansing. You might use it to anoint objects, cleanse your hands before ritual, or sprinkle it in rooms to reset the energy. Baths and showers become potent rituals when paired with intention. Visualize the water washing away anything that clings, both physically and spiritually. Sound is another powerful tool. Bells, singing bowls, clapping, drumming, chanting, or even simply raising your voice or clanging pots and pans can break stagnant energy and reset a space. Sound travels fast and far. It shakes things loose and clears the air with vibrational force. Fire can be used both literally and symbolically, burning written intentions or unwanted emotions, passing tools through flame, or using candlelight in ritual banishings are all ways to invoke fire's cleansing and transforming properties. Movement and gesture are often looked but incredibly effective. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, the LBRP, for example, uses breath, posture, sound, and specific movements to invoke and direct energy. Even a simple act of sweeping, whether with a ritual broom or your own hand, can move stagnant forces. Some witches spin, shake, or dance to clear energy from the body and room alike. And then there's your will, your intention, the words you speak, the symbols you draw, the visualizations you hold. All of these act as tools in their own right. You can banish with your breath, cleanse with your gaze, and protect with your voice. The more connected you are to the inner power, the less reliant you'll be on external items, though they can certainly amplify the work. Banishing and cleansing aren't just for ritual circles or full moon ceremonies, they're part of the everyday flow of living as a witch. When integrated into your daily practice, these acts become less about reacting to chaos and more about tending to your own energetic ecosystem. They help you stay grounded, present, and aligned with your intention, even when the world is loud and messy, as it usually is. Morning is a natural time to cleanse. Before the day's energies begin to cling, a splash of cool water across your face, a drop of essential oil, in a carrier oil, that's very important to note, on your pulse points, or a deep, intentional breath can clear away sleep residue and reset your field. Lighting incense or even just opening a window to let in the breeze can shift the mood of a space and invite fresh energy in. Throughout the day, small banishing gestures can keep your field protected and your spirit centered. If you feel someone's negativity brushing too close, cross your arms and legs, not as a wall, but as a sigil of sovereignty. If you pick up tension from a conversation or a public space, shake off your hands, or touching the ground can release the unwanted charge. These don't need to be dramatic acts, just quiet spells woven into your gestures. In the evening, cleansing becomes a way to release the day. A simple tea ritual with calming herbs can flush emotional residue from your system. A candlelit bath with salt and herbs can soak tension from your bones. You might wipe down your phone screen with charged water or sweep your floor with the intention of removing more than just dust. Every act becomes an opportunity to reset. The more you practice, the more intuitive these acts become. You start to feel these subtle shifts, a room that's too still, an object that hums with memory, a mood that's not quite yours. Banishing and cleansing help you honor these senses. They train you to move through the world, not just as an observer, but as a shaper of energy. In daily witchcraft, these rites aren't separate from life, they are life. You're not just clearing space, you're creating it. You're not just protecting yourself, you're claiming your presence in the world. Every small act of clearing is an act of power, and every act of power, no matter how soft, reshapes the world around you. Banishing and cleansing aren't just protective measures, they're sacred acts of self respect. They remind us that we have the right to shape the energy we live in, to clear what burdens us, and to reclaim the spaces we inhabit, physical, emotional, and spiritual. These rites are acts of magic, yes, but they're also acts of care. Like sweeping the hearth or washing your hands before a meal, they ground you in the present and prepare the way for something better. Whether you're warding off something that doesn't belong or simply making room for clarity and peace, these practices teach you to listen deeply and act with intention. They're not about fear or superstition, they're about power. The kind of power that comes from being in tune with your own energy, your own will, and the subtle forces that flow through all things. Start simple. Trust what you feel. Let your daily life become a ritual of renewal, and you'll find that banishing and cleansing aren't occasional tools. They're part of your rhythm, your breath, your craft. And in that steady, sovereign space you clear for yourself, magic doesn't just happen, it thrives. Now, two main sources that you can check out are, as mentioned, Jason Miller's book, Protection and Reversal Magic. And I absolutely love that book. I think it's brilliant. And my own protection and cleansing magic video course on Patreon. But thanks for watching and listening, and I hope this gives you some food for thought and maybe some quick and easy things you can do throughout your day to keep you cleansed. Cheers for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.